Okay, so today I would like to make it light and then use the time for question and answers or any concerns or anything that is, especially Venugopal or anyone who has any questions. Before that, I just want to talk about seeing five aggregates in the breath. Have you ever tried? You can see all the five aggregates in the breath. Now, let's say you have a good samatha practice, meaning able to be on the breath for more than 8 to 10 hours in a day without any effort. So, the steps for the samatha practice is that there is a term called vitakka vichara in Pali. It means I take breath and I remain on the breath. So my debate is on the type of the breath. So what's the breath type, what it is doing. So let's say it goes in, so my nose expands a little bit, but the chest expands and then the abdomen expands. And when it is going out, it's the abdomen goes back, it contracts, the chest goes back, and the whole pressure comes out. So that is vitakka. So I keep this continuously, checking on the breath at the first stage of jhana, vitakka. And then the mind is completely absorbed in that breath, which is vichara. What it does, it looks at the length of the breath. It's long or short, long or short. That's all. And nothing more than that. After a while, you can see the breath in the entire body. When we say breath, it's just a symbol. Different, which only you will come to know what the difference is. So when we say breath, it need not transform itself to air going in and air going out. You can see it like an energy moving up and down your body, from the tip of the toe to the top of the head, and the top of the head to the tip of the toe. Okay. Now, when you get this, there's an intense joy. It's so intense. It's just like a flow. And free flow from top to bottom. It's just from the head, it starts. Like somebody pouring water on the head, and then it just keeps on flowing and flowing and flowing and flowing. It's endless flowing. But anyway, it's going to end, but it looks like endless. And then you get into sukha. Sukha, how do you experience it? Is that you get to see as though you are so desperate for water. Few days you didn't have water, and somebody gives you a nice pure water and you just sip it. That feeling catches the mind. So that's what it was searching for in everything, in the senses. It was searching for this sukha. So it got it. And then turns equanimous. That's ekagata. Okay. Now once I have done this, and I'm able to sustain for, let's say, 8 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours, 18 hours. Max is 18 hours because 6 hours of sleep, you might not be able to do this. So from a 1 hour to 18 hours in slow progression. Now I'm ready for Vipassana. What do I do? Here is the thing. First, I will watch the breath in its entirety. Okay, so when I see the breath in its entirety, I find two aspects to it. One aspect is It arises and passes away, and there's a stop. It's very nice to see. So now I know what is Rupa, not my Rupa. It's just what we can say, Rupa as in the object, you could say. And the object here is breath, not anything else. Okay. Now what I'm doing here is that I am making sure that the breath is checked into what this Rupa is doing. So what I see it like there is arising and passing. So it's arising. Yes, I'm seeing arising, and it goes till the top of the head and then stops, and then slowly it goes away till the feet. This anicca nature can be seen. Now, when the breath is touching and all this piti, sukha, everything is experiencing, when I do Vipassana, because I've attained equanimity, it turns into non-vedana, because there's no passa. So there's no contact. Contact with what? Contact with any conceptualization, any verbalization, any thoughts and emotions, or anything that can disturb that practice. So there is perfect equanimous existence, just existing. Not my breath, not your breath, not whose our breath. It's just a breath or air coming inside the nostril, staying for some time and going out. It's just like somebody come to your home, sits there and goes off. You're not going to react to him coming or going. Here it will be even more intense, that there's no feeling. That means there is no conscious experience of this limited thing called as breath. So what did I achieve out of this? Is that I have come to a stage of perfection, of not having any kind of feeling. So it becomes upekha, equanimity. Generally, I will have a feeling. And when I do, like Chuladasa says, if I do it in stages 7, 8, 9, or 6, 7, 8, and 9, there's intense joy which is happening. In this case, there's no joy, there's nothing which is happening. It's just pure awareness. And no thing there. There's no thing. So I'm referencing on the 7th jhana, where there's no thing. There's no thing to be got and no thing to be lost. Basically, that I-ness is gone. And every breath, there's no I. If I could do this continuously, without a break, then what's the sanya, perception? There can't be any perception of it, because there's no feeling. So what will you perceive? You just see everything is arising, staying and passing away. And you just be a witness. So you've seen anicca nature, the dukkha nature and anatta nature in the breath. And not only that, you're just an observer. So would you wish let the breath be like this or let this be like that and all that? So there's no sanchetana also. That means there is no intention, formations, or to form something, which is sankhara. When I don't have that, then there's no conscious experience of anything whatsoever. So it just becomes void. Because vijnana becomes nirodha. There is no nama rupa now. The nama rupa is there in the vedana, is there in the sanya, is there in the sankhara. So now that there is no nama rupa, so nama rupa nirodho, vijnana nirodho. So now this consciousness, which was established on name and form, no longer exists. Now what happens at that stage? If you are in a closed eyes meditation, it ceases. So you are in perfect nibbana. Or nibbana is the perfection. That's it. So you have attained nibbana. Till the time there's a conscious effort of creating something, there's nothing to do. Take an example. Now it's 8:44 a.m. here. That's a nimitta. Now I will just make a mental note. At 9:30 a.m., may I come back? Okay. Now I watch the breath. I'm doing Vipassana instead of the Samatha because I already done the Samatha. Now I can do the Vipassana. So what do you do with the breath? I'll just watch the breath as like a third party and looking at the attributes of the breath. So I only see vibrations in the body, not as breath, just something vibrating. So what's the feeling? There's no feeling. There's only vibration. Now this vibration, can I make it as a concept? No. Just to say what it is, I'm saying it as vibration. But in sanya, I'm only saying something coming and something going. And then is there anything to ask for, wish for, intend for? The answer is no. So is there any conceptual experience which is happening, which is the vijnana? And there is nothing. And this whole thing stops. So, using the breath, we can do the 5 aggregates. And there is no upadana, meaning there is no grasping, because there is no craving, because there is no feeling, and because there is no 6 senses, and because there is no namarupa, and because there is no vijnana, because there is no sankhara, because there is no avijja. And the dukkha ends. then we can have this etam santam etam panitam yadidam sabba sankhara samatho sabbupadi patinisaggo tanhakhayo virago nirodho nibbana. So this is peaceful. Why? Because there's no person there. And this is proficient. Why? There's nothing to be explained. Yadidam, only when. Sabba sankhara samato. Now, in this non perception, non feeling state, there is nothing to be intending about. I can't intend, let it be like this or let it be like that. There's no intention of the eyes or the ears, nose, tongue, body, and mind. Nothing to intend. Sabbupadi patinisaggo, all the asset creation, that is, all the holding on to something, the rupa or the vedana or the sanya or the sankhara or the vijnana, is given up. Tanhakhayo, there is no craving. What is there to crave now? When the very thing is not there, there's nothing to crave. Virago, there is no raga, coloring. Nirodho, ceasing. And because of that, Nibbana. This will work when we have a good grasp of breath watching. And we can move into the Vipassana. It's very effective, thought provoking. It stops all thoughts. You will not have a single thought. Because I have done the samatha of watching the breath, then the piti happening, the sukha happening, then the upekha happening. And after I have achieved the fourth jhana, I've started working out on what is the rupa. Unless I tag it as breath, there is no rupa experience. The raw thing is just the movement. That means raw as in yatha bhuta, as it is. It's just the movement. And when I see this, what do you now feel? Initially, the movement is felt, and after a while, nothing is felt. So, if nothing is felt, can there be anything to perceive? And the answer is no. Only when there is a feeling, there's a perception. Or when there is a perception, there is a feeling. So, feeling and perception feeds onto itself. So, now there's nothing to feel, so there's nothing to perceive. And when I see like this, there's no intention formed. and the experiencer also is gone. Including the witness is gone. That was bound, and this is unbound. And that's it I had for today, especially for today. Just wanted to bring in a new thing than always the old thing. How do you see in the breath? How is it, Shaniel? Anything you can find? Yes, you raise a hand. I know. Yeah.
Yeah, very. I mean, my experience is like you describe, right? Because watching the breath or mastery of the breath, I've developed over time. But I know that one obstacle for people might be this concept of being able to do it for 18 hours, be aware. I know even myself, I don't watch it for that long, but I'm always conscious of the breath, and when I want to emphasize it or be more aware, I can come to it very easily and it's there. So maybe you can elaborate a little bit about that, what's the significance of maybe 18 hours? Like, to me, it just seems like a number that describes you need to have mastery of the breath. It might not necessarily mean, 18 hours, but I want to hear it from you.
Yeah, there are three things there. 24 hours. 6 hours, you sleep. Assuming you're not watching the breath. That Jagariyana yoga has to happen. That only happens closer to Arhat. So this, for you and me, we have to go by this standard. Okay. Now, we start from the beginning. Let's say you've kept 1 hour timer. The reason why you keep 1 hour timer is that you don't want to miss a single moment of watching the breath. If you keep a 2 hour timer, that means you're making sure that you don't miss for 2 hours and for 3 hours and for 4 hours. This is a forceful act to begin with. And then you drop the timer altogether. It becomes a natural choice. Just like I didn't have a habit of watching the breath. Now I have created a new habit of watching the breath. What do I watch in the breath? It becomes a bigger question. What is there to watch? It's watching like a third party. It's not your breath. It's not my breath. It's just a breath. And if you see there's no breath either, it's just an energy going up and down your spine, basically. So you feel energized. It's just like there's a flow going and coming and going and coming and going. Initially, I called it as a breath. And after some time, there's nothing called as a breath. It's just some sensations of breath. Can be heaviness, can be lightness, can be, throbbing, can be expanding, can be contracting, can be whatever. These are the textual messages what we are putting to explain what it is, right? So when I say it's 18 hours, it means minusing the sleeping.
Yes.
You are looking at what is happening in the mind.
Yes.
Because mind has breath, basically. So if I want the mind not go anywhere, the 6 senses are connected to the breath. So if I were to watch the breath, I'm watching the mind. So it becomes completely mindfulness.
This makes more sense to me, rather than focusing on that word breath, because
no, that's why the reason I said initially you call it as a breath. It's just a sticker. I don't know what else to put. I say, yeah, it's a breath. What's the
right.
breath?
Yeah.
And after some time, you will be shocked. There's no thing called as breath. It's just a label.
Yep.
Just a sticker. But what you're watching is the subtleness of the touch.
Mm-hmm.
which is happening from head to toe, while it's going here, there, it's going everywhere. And within the body, there's some twitching and there's some movement and there's some expansion, there's some contraction, there's a water-like feeling. There's something, expansive and expansive and expansive, as though you're going to burst, and then something so contracting, you feel that, oh, I'm going to get compressed. And all of that is happening within this breath territory, so to say. So basically, if you, since you are teaching them about the Chuladasa, if you look at 7, 8, 9 stages, it's basically that you are so absorbed in that, it doesn't lose your attention even for a moment.
Yeah.
Right? So you have awareness and attention. The only thing is, middle, we have to add observation. So you're observing what's happening, and then you are in complete awareness. That means nothing crosses
Yep.
at all.
Yep. And this is my experience. Like you said, you start off initially focusing on the breath, but over time that, transforms into whatever's happening in the body, the sensation of the breath in the body, also the mind, and you're able to be with that all of the time. You're always aware of that.
Yes.
Happening.
It doesn't mean that you should look at the nostril entrance or something like that. No. Initially, it's just like going to a school or going to a room. Basically, this is a meeting room. And then what should I say to someone? I say that, hey, you know what? Why don't you come to this room? That's a label. But when you enter into the room, there's no room. It's just 4 walls and a ceiling and a floor. And if you remove that, there's neither that, right? It's just space. So if I do that, energy starts to ripple. It's just like, you stand on the beach and then you go and just washing away, and then it goes back, and you'll start to feel synchronicity between your breath and the waves on the ocean or on the sea, like what we did with when I was in San Francisco, or also with Bobby and guys. We went to the beach and they were saying that, just look at this. You synchronize yourself with that. As it comes in, it's breath coming in, and it goes out, the breath goes out. You just sit there. You see the water coming like this, and that's just gone. If you can synchronize, you're with nature. And now you see as a witness between that and this being the same. There's no separation. So now that 18 hours is again a symbolization. There's no thing called as 18 hours. In fact, there's no thing called as 24 hours either. Right? We just make something. It's mind-made. So the time is a mind-made concept. It's just not there. There's no thing called as time. Time is a construct. It's not really, to be putting it like, oh, there's a time of 24 hours. No, it's from a referential point of the earth going around the sun. It's not got anything to do with, in reality, there's a 24 hours. No, there's nothing like that. In reality, there's no movement.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Yeah. So why I said this 18 hours is that people will say, oh, okay, I've got 1 hour breath watching. And they feel terribly excited. I said, no, bullshit, to 18 hours.
Yeah, you have to be aware of it all of the time, what's happening.
All the time, not just, I'm sitting meditation and then I'm just sitting there, I'm having how should I keep my, cushion? Should I keep it this way or that way? Majority of time we spend on the preparations rather than the actual. So I'll say, I'll sit down, I'll sit up, I'll sit here, I'll sit there. Boss, it's not about sitting, it's about what's happening with the breath. So what happens? Let's see in practice. Now, if I see this small window here, that's the nose. It is not that the air is entering only the nose. It's actually everywhere. But maximum impact is on the nose. Reason being, it has a hole. And anything that has a hole will have, when it touches, you feel that touch, like something crawling inside. And then the chest expands because the air. So the chest expands, and the tummy also expands. It's just like now you can see the wave, literally a wave formation. It just goes and releases. And now can you expand it to the legs? So it goes to the leg. And now it comes up to the head. Then it goes down again. And then up again. Just like a child being rocked. Just you feel that rocking. And after that, the breath is gone. In its place, you see some portions of energies floating. And if you see that, suddenly in the spinal region, you see some movement like this and like this, which they call it as Kundalini because it goes like serpent. And then you can see that happening. After a while, you feel like rain falling on your whole body. It all happening due to breath, nothing else. And all that is breath only, for that matter. So when we say you watch the breath for 18 hours, watch this fun game happening for 18 hours, because I can't be telling, at this moment this is going to happen. It might not happen. So even in all the books, if you read, they just talk about breath. Even Buddha will say, so sato vasa sati, and then he does all the 16 of in that anapanasati. If he would have explained all of this, I think it would have itself become one huge book of what all you will see and what happens and this happens. But instead, he cuts it off into 4 parts. One is the Kayanupassana. And then he comes to the Vedananupassana, where he puts piti and sukha and all that in that. Then he comes to Chittanupassana, and then he comes to Dhammanupassana. These 4 anupassanas, he brings it. Actually, you'll be doing all of it. And
so it's like from gross to more and more subtle too, as you see.
And to the subtlest.
Yeah, to the subtlest, exactly.
To the subtlest.
And that is the progression, it just slowly moves from that. But we have to start at the gross.
Yes, and then slow down. So now that people are doing for 1 hour, they can just set a timer for 2 hours. Oh, 2 hours, oh my goodness. But the breath is there all the time, whether it's goodness or badness. So don't worry about a time. Just watch the breath. That's what I meant.
Yeah, okay. That's that's very clear. And like you were saying, eventually, initially you start here and it's very gross, and then you'll start to feel the subtle, representations of the breath in the body, and then it'll be in the spine, and then you'll feel it sort of moving from head to toe. All of these things are exactly as you say, from my experience. But I think the other important thing is, you talked about this over the last few days, is the Sila Visuddhi, making sure that you go step by step all through this.
Yes. So I'm trying to cover up only 3: Sila Visuddhi, Chitta Visuddhi, and the Ditti Visuddhi, because the other 4 are the result of that. Okay. And if I take these 3 and make sure I've done Vipassana to the best, and I'm done with it because I've done Samatha and I'm doing Vipassana. So I first enable the 4 stages, the 4 absorptions, the 4 jhanas, making sure I have experienced, my every pore has experienced what is breath. Okay, and I can do it in all the postures. Can be while walking or sitting or standing or sleeping or whatever that is. Even while going to the toilet, it's sitting, basically. Sitting on the seat. And then the air is going down and air is coming up. So they're all air related. So can I watch it? And then the touch with the toilet seat. Can I do that? Yes. When I'm flushing the water, can I be aware of the flushing of the water and the sound which goes? Can I be aware of the sound? And that means my peripheral awareness doesn't miss a single thing. It's just completely expansive. Okay, and then when I do that, and when I'm finished my job, and then I'm wearing my dress, and then I'm now going to the bath, and then am I aware of the entire bathing thing? In entirety, it's in entirety. That when I put hot water on the hand, am I being aware that when I put here and it comes here, there was no consciousness here, but now there's consciousness, and then it's gone here. And I put it in the head, and somewhere it's gone. So can I now see how the consciousness is moving, and that energizes the entire body? While brushing, can I be aware of the movement in the teeth, and then the tongue, and how it is behaving, and based upon the paste, what's happening? Okay, so when I'm wearing the dress or shirt or the trousers and all of that, when I'm walking, am I being able to be looking like a third party? So everything, the body is body is made ready to go to the office. I'm not getting ready to go anywhere. I don't go anywhere. The body is moving here, there. So I'm carrying like a dog being carried here, there. So am I in that? And if I'm in that, means I have done my 18-hour job, because it's complete awareness. And that awareness, the basically thing is the breath.
Yep, I agree. Being able to be aware consistently throughout the day like that is the sign that you're at that level. And then when you're at that level, then as you're saying, Vipassana becomes very easy. It's just automatic almost.
So when I do these three, that is, if I do the Sila Visuddhi and Ditti Visuddhi and
Chitta
Visuddhi and the Ditti Visuddhi, these three will remove the doubt. That means at Sotapanna I have given up some doubts, and at Anagami I have given maximum doubt, and now I am in the Avijja removal stage. So there's no doubt of any kind appearing on any technique, whether we call it as a Burmese technique or a Chinese technique or a Thai technique or a Sri Lankan technique or Indian technique, Australian technique, it doesn't matter. What matters is, do you know the Buddha in you? Do you know the Buddha in you? Because you know the Dhamma. So now I can confidently say, Yo mam passati, so dhammam passati. One who knows me knows the Dhamma. Now I really experienced it. Oh, wow, this is amazing. Because it stops all sankharas at once. I've seen it all. So that's a best experience for why I brought this is that now I think you're in a stage to attempt to this, and by the time I come there, I think we can explore many other options. And for others as well, they can see, because they are now practicing as per Chuladasa, and if they're in 2, 3, 4 or 1, 2, 3, basically that is one group. If they come to 3, 4, 5, they are catching up. 6, 7, 8, if they are by chance they are there from 6 onwards, it's an amazing ride. Okay, and 9 and 10, you're just ready to drop Chuladasa and get into the actual Buddha teaching, wherein you know this being there. This is your foundation. So Vipassana of Goenka was the starting point, and then you moved into here, you made both of them, and that's a foundation. The entire foundation is there. Now we go into the Dhamma to see what to see, because now getting into the Piti and Sukha and all that is like this. Now there's no need for doing anything. You can get it anytime. Just like I go to a supermarket and I have money, I just buy whatever I want. I don't have to beg or borrow or whatever it is. Just get there. And now I can see, what is Rupa here? Now I'm sitting like this. What's Rupa here? I can do another way. I can say, hey, what's the Rupa here? Vilas is the Rupa. Excellent. How did Vilas come to be? Ahara samudaya, Rupa samudaya. Vilas came to be by food, not by any other means. Excellent. So now how does Vilas go out to be? When he stops eating, he's gone. Meaning, when he dies, the body cannot eat anyway. So they'll throw it into the dustbin, out of the trash. So now I see that, ahara samudaya, Rupa samudaya, ahara nirodha, Rupa nirodha. Beautiful. Now how does the Vedana come to be? How does the feeling come to be? This Rupa Vilas, when taken real, has a feeling. When it is taken as four dhatus, or the quality of, as in Patvi, as in earth and water and air and fire, where is Vilas? Is there a feeling of Vilas? No. So, Phassa Nirodho, Vedana Nirodho. So there's no contact. So there can't be any feeling. Excellent. So can there be any experience to be taken and symbolize it? This is what Vilas experienced. No. Why? If there was no feeling, how can you perceive something which didn't have any feeling? So it's gone. So now Phassa samudaya, sanya samudaya. Phassa nirodha, sanya nirodha. So the sanya is not there. Excellent. What about sankharas? As long as Vilas exists, Vilas wants to see something in this way, hear something in this way, taste something in this way, touch something in this way, and think something. What if the Vilas itself is not there? When the feeling and perception are not there, can there be any sankhara independent of feeling and perception? No, they can't be. And when the nama portion is removed from the rupa, can the vijnana survive? The answer is no. Nama rupa samudaya, vijnana samudaya, nama rupa nirodha, vijnana nirodha. So when I see like this, I just give up. And then what happens? Again into Nibbana. This time I did not use the breath. I used the conceptualization of Vilas and got to the same answer. Right? If somebody comes and asks me, is Vilas existing? I'll not answer. Is Vilas dead? I'll not answer. Is Vilas both, alive or dead? There's no answer. Because Vilas is a concept. And how did it come to be? It came to be because it came out of the womb. And somebody named it as Vilas. And tomorrow it can be named as whatever. So can I now create a conceptual reality? Yes, I can. And if somebody asks me that, are you Vilas? I'll say, yes, I am Vilas. But you just now said you're not Vilas. Yeah, you're right, I'm not Vilas. But you just now said you're Vilas. Yes, I'm Vilas. And that guy will go mad. Because conceptually I'm Vilas, and in real terms I'm not Vilas. I've got nothing to do with Vilas in the first place. So this Vilas, who is a conceptual reality, is going to take a conceptual eye and conceptual ear, nose, tongue, body, and mind, and take it wherever it is. And since there's no Vilas, there's no movement. So everything ends. So, yam kinchi samudaya dhammam sabbam tam nirodha dhammam iti. It is, if there is something to be arising, and the very thing goes out of existence. So when the parents named this body as Vilas, from the very moment onwards, it has been dying. Because there's change of form every day. So now what's the form? This movement of Patavi, Apo, Tejo, Vayu is the form. What's the feeling? Connection to six senses is the feeling. And when there's no connection with six senses, you're basically done. So this is another way of doing it. So you can ask who is Shaniel, and then you just sit and say that it's a conceptual reality. And then you can do the same thing. Where's the feeling? There's no feeling. If there's no feeling, there's no perception. If there's no perception and feeling, there's no preparation. What do you have to prepare for? What do you form? So you call it as formations or choices or intentions or whatever. What's there to intend? You will intend based upon the feeling, and if there's no feeling, what's there to intend now? There's nothing to intend. And if there's nothing to intend, and can there be a perception? And there's nothing can be a perception there. And that's it. So that Vijnana is gone. Why? The Rupa plus Nama is not there. So what will Vijnana do? It goes out of existence. So for that moment, you're done. That's the end of journey. So now these days I'm doing this while walking. When I come to the office, I'm walking 7 kilometers every day, and before I come here. So I keep on observing this. So if I take another concept, like, number of kgs this body is, let's say when I checked in Australia, 69.6 or 7. Now let's say it comes to 60 when I come back to Australia again. So 9 kgs reduction. Did I lose 9 kgs or the body lost 9 kgs? And if I say body lost 9 kgs, excellent. Now let's do a Vipassana on that. What's the Rupa here? If I say I lost 9 kgs, it means Patvi, Apo, Tejo, Vayu went off of 9 kgs of weight, removed, right? Now, why are you feeling happy of something you don't own? So it creates upekha, equanimity. Now you see this fun. If I don't have feeling, will I perceive 9 kgs as a weight reduction? No. Will I do any volitions? Let my weight be 9 kgs less. No. You eat less, or I feed this body lesser, it starts losing weight. So if next time when I meet you in Australia, and these people were to ask me, Vilas, you're gone lean, I should just smile, because I didn't go lean to become fat. I didn't become fat to go lean. But if I take it as mine, you see this fun. I am fat is a bad thing. So what do? I justify and say, you know what, last time when I was in Australia, I was drinking a lot of milk and this and that, and you guys spoiled me by feeding me so much and blah, blah, blah. And then the poor guys will feel next time we'll not feed him at all. This guy keeps on complaining. Okay. If I become lean and everybody asks me, hey, Vilas, you're so lean now, then I feel proud. You know how I did it. I did this. I did a 1 meal a day diet and blah, blah, all that. Here, I have a Dukkha Vedana in 69.7 and a Sukha Vedana in 60. And they both are numbers, like the 18 hours. They're just a number. The main important thing is not the number. The main important thing is that I don't own the body at all. You don't eat, it reduces weight. You keep on feeding, it increases weight. It's not my body. Straightforward. If it is not my body, then what's the feeling? Nothing. And there's a perception, nothing. Am I preparing or volitioning, let my body be like this? No. So is there a conscious experience of 69.7 kgs versus 60 kgs? The answer is no. So when people ask me, Vilas, how did you make 60 kgs? Just smile. And maybe I can ask, don't eat. That's it. That's the answer I could give. And that's it. So was I in upekha, equanimity? Yes, I was. Even when the weight was showing 69.7, was I in equanimity? Yes, let's say. And if the weighing scale shows 60 kgs now, would I be in equanimity? Yes. I didn't fly because it is 69.60 kgs, and I didn't go hit the ground and hitting my head. Oh man, I'm 69 kgs. And that's the mental balance because it doesn't even exist. This body is anyway going to where? It's going to go to the crematorium. It doesn't matter whether it goes as 69.7 kgs to crematorium or 60 kgs to crematorium. It is going to be burnt or put underground or whatever it is. It really doesn't matter. What matters is, should I hold so much of weight? It is not required. So reduce the weight. Yes, Venugopal.
Sir, Rupa Sanchetana, Anicca Viparinami, Anyata Bhavi. What does it mean, Rupa Sanchetana, sir?
You want the form to be like this. Sanchetana means wishing, let the rupa be like this, then the saddha be like this, let the gandha be like this, like that pottabha be like this, like that. And we will be doing that all the time. Now you just come out of your house and you'll see trash. The dogs would have cut off all the plastic thing and it has taken out all the food and it's everywhere, let's say. You will wish, I don't know why I'm seeing this thing. So you're wishing. That's Rupa Sanchetana. Then the dogs are barking. Saddha Sanchetana. A pungent smell or a very bad smell is coming. Gandha Sanchetana. I don't want that. Rasa Sanchetana. Let it taste like this. Pottabha Sanchetana. Let me touch like this. Dhamma Sanchetana. Let I think like this. Let the thoughts be like this. So when you go to Sanya, the previous one, it is Chakku Sanya, Sota Sanya, Ghana Sanya, Jivha Sanya. That means you first symbolize the eye, what it should see, and then you wish to see that, which becomes Sanchetana. To cite one good example for you, Venugopal. Now this guy, Shaniel, is having a company that what you see there, half brick. So Dhamma Sanchetana here in mind is, may I join half bricks? And he's not interested in taking me, but I have a wish, may I join? And then I say, hey, Shaniel, I just send you my resume in case, whenever it comes up. Yes, he can say, hey, this guy is going on a roundabout. Why? Because there is a Dhamma Sanchetana. That's a intention. Who made that intention is the mind. In the mind, after looking at of that half brick thing and identifying this is a good company to be with, then it made a intention that whoever Vilas, will be happy if he joins half brick. Got the point? That is a Sanchetana on mind. Mind is Mano. So the sanya is made. How did it make a sanya? It saw this whole thing where he's sitting, and then it made a impression, and I symbolize it. And that symbolization, totality, is half brick. In totality, that's a symbol. To get that symbol, right, I need to have a dhamma. So the thought will come to take that. Okay, now you ask this question, can I carry half brick? I can't even take that K of that half brick. Forget about half brick or H of that half brick. Why? It's just an alphabet. There's no half brick there. But the mind will show as though there is something to be aspired, got it. So then there is a sankhara. That means there is an volitional, intentional action that I want to be part of Half Brick Studios. So I start marketing his company. Let's say I tell to 100 people, hey, Half Brick Studio is a good company. I'm not marketing for him. I'm marketing for myself because I want to be in that organization. So like that, you can do with eyes and the ears and nose and tongue and body. I just gave an example. So I'm not planning to join that, but I'm just trying to say practically how it works. I mean, why I said that you don't have to feel that I'm joining him. I'm just giving an illustration, and illustration is always an illustration.
Even that happens sanchetana, like I'm thinking like that. That is Dhamma Sanchetana.
Yes. If you're thinking like that, I'm going to join him, is in Dhamma Sanchetana. That's the reason I said not like that. Just give a very practical example on how it works, how the intention works.
And in elements,
Elements.
Patavi Dhatu Anicca Viparinami Anyata Bhavi.
Wait. Now we have only 0 minute left. Okay. So we will do this exactly the same thing tomorrow.
Okay.
Okay.
So this.
All right. Good day.